Let me get this started.
All right,
Hold on, you ready?
I'm ready, yep. So Vice Chair O'Connor, I'll call the meeting in order. Chairman Freund is not here this evening. So I'll read the minutes from the last meeting we had. I'm not sure what the last one was, Barry.
Good question, like June
a
or
few months
July?
ago.
Yeah, probably June.
So when you all read it, did you have any additions or corrections?
I did not.
Motion?
I moved as presented.
Second,
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Well, there we go. Minutes are approved. So we're gonna start with George Johannesson. State Line Pizza expansion. Just your name, the address of where you're going.
There's a couple of times. For the record, my name is George Johannesson from Allied Engineering in North Canaan, Connecticut. I'm here tonight representing the owners of State Line Pizza and their application to expand the building. What we're looking at is obviously North End Street. This is where everybody usually comes in. This is the.
excuse me, George, would you mind just pulling that up this way a little bit?
Sure.
Yes.
You can still see it? So this was the main pizza restaurant that Chris built, and this was the extra little space he put on the side, which is a little too small to really do anything in. You see all the activity gets, so what they've decided is to push the building out by 40 feet and then make this a retail space. Okay, so what we're doing is reorganizing parking. On this, I showed the existing in pink, which isn't on that one. I give you an existing and a proposed, but just so you can see the difference. So in the back, we're squaring off the parking, getting more spaces, readjusting the dumpsters and the propane so that we can get the islands on the side, so protect the cars. Same thing in here, you come back around this way and then back out. This is getting squared up in the front, so we're getting rid of some of the pavement here. So the edge of the pavement is closer to the wetlands here. That's why we're here. However, we're eliminating any cars parking along here, which those are all parking spaces now. So you don't have cars sitting there dripping, whatever. This is just to be able to get back out and around. So the difference is now the closest point is 49.9 feet, and we're going to 36.8. So, you know, this is the regulated area, the 100-foot setback, which is not technically a regulated setback in your regulations, but.
It's an upland review area.
Huh?
It's an upland review area.
Right.
Regulations.
Is it? Oh, okay. I know we went around and around with that versus thing. But anyway, so that's what the proposal is. You know, there's roof drains on top of this. So again, with the parking, where before this was all paved. And parking spaces here. Now we just have a small area, so this will have gutters, so we'll be capturing the water, clean water and running it out.
Are you gonna put any protection to the wetland while you were doing the construction?
Oh, yeah, there'll be silt fencing along all the disturbed areas. Yeah. Yeah, the whole thing is protected all the way around.
So I'd like to look back, because I know that we reviewed this with the original proposal,
Yeah.
and I think at that point in time, this is representative was Ralph Stant.
Right, Ralph flagged the wetlands as well.
And I think we gave a leeway for encroachment at that point in time,
Okay,
into the regulated area.
Mhm.
Upland review.
Is this the existing parking right now?
Yes, the pink is.
So you're not disturbing any more than the parking lot that's already there?
We are,
You are,
yes.
In
This is
addition.
The new.
oh, okay.
How much
Yeah.
further is it exactly?
It's about 10 feet.
10 feet
Yeah.
further.
Well, including the new building
Yeah.
into the regulated area, how much is it?
Well, proposed impervious in the regulated area is 12,300. The existing impervious in the regulated area is 8,400. So it's about 4,000 square feet more.
Which that extra area is the parking lot, basically. It's not the building. The building,
Well,
where the
well, the building is
proposed
gonna be
building is
regulated.
gonna be where it's paved.
Yeah. Paved
Existing,
now, yes.
paved now.
It's still impervious, correct.
Yeah, there's
The-
extra
the
parking. over
existing
there,
building
yeah.
is-
But they're gonna take that parking out.
The existing building is outside the regulated area.
Yeah, right on the
The
edge.
entire new building will be inside the regulated area, including the parking.
But it's
And-
also on an area that's already paved now. So,
So pink is existing.
that's the gravel area.
It's outside.
This is the edge of the
This
existing
will be,
pavement
this will be in this.
Which is basically the driveway,
Yeah,
which is what you're adding would be.
10 feet to the driveway. And is 10 feet actually being paved. With the parking lot being paved, the building there,
now.
the difference between the building and the parking lot probably not much difference as far as.
Except you're not getting any contamination from vehicles where the
Yeah.
building is, because you're just taking rainwater and running it out. in gutters. One thing we discussed was possibly,
It's that
your
distance.
concern, we can always use some additional plantings
Stuff
in here
that back in.
as more of a filter.
Yeah.
Big low ground cover type plants. I mean,
Right
it's
now,
all,
correct,
it's all
correct.
lawn now, yeah.
Basically, right through here is the drainage from the entire hill, Rattlesnake Hill, drains
Mhm.
down through there, and then crosses
Yeah.
by the old ice house.
Where that
and
pump
the
station is
Snack
right there.
shack and all of that.
And
I think the wattles from the original construction are still there.
maybe,
They're supposed to stay there, right? The ones that-
Oh, in, but those never ever grew in.
it depends.
They were just mesh bags of straw that are still there.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
right.
Now, the ones I think you buy, they're biodegradable. They're mesh around them.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, I think the plantings make a big difference. And, in lieu of going that 10 feet closer and putting in the plantings, it's like the riparian buffer. or whatever.
Exactly, yeah,
And,
we'll do low growing
Is this
stuff.
the existing grief
Yeah.
trap that's already there?
Maybe just going to meetings on wetlands. Having those plantings makes a huge difference.
Yeah,
And,
yeah, in Salisbury, they're all over every project now. We did all the work out in the island there for the death camp, and part of the condition was along where you come across a causeway and go in, we had to do a 25-foot planting area all the way down along the edge of the thing down to the end of the driveway.
Right.
Protect anything running into the lake.
Yep. Yeah, just it keeps people away. And,
But bigger plants really catch the water and filter it before it goes into the wetlands compared to a lawn, which does almost
Right.
nothing.
yeah, but if you do low brush, like
Uses up here, that's it.
different wetland variations of plants. And they stay low, it filters the water as well on through.
Yeah. How many feet of plantings would be reasonable?
Well, I would say we could hold 20 foot for on the outside and then plant along the back edge of that.
Where is the
Like
dr-
over 20 feet.
Where does the
Yeah.
drainage from the impervious surface go? Out to the
Right,
state
it's street
highway?
flows now.
Sheep flow?
Yep, there's a ditch here. COVID, I worked with Chris to do a different layout here
Mhm.
to try to do something, and we were gonna try to extend this ditch, but when they built this, Mike Hewins went out and Alva done the design, and Mike Hewins went out and started digging, and there was all this garbage that the previous owner had buried. And because of the cost, they ended up lowering the site by a foot, which ended up, you can't do anything but sheet flow here.
So it's still gonna sheep flow away from the well.
Yes, well, it's gonna sheet flow. This goes this way, this goes this way, this goes this way. So you're still gonna have some here, but you're gonna have less sheet flow off the pavement actually now.
Yeah, because they're gonna catch all the water off the roof.
Right, and that's clean water and just, that will get picked right up. Yeah, there's the down spots right here, existing, and we're gonna connect into those. Extend them out if needed. And go show up. Yeah, no, they're in the drawing, just didn't get plotted there. There's two of them that come out, I think it's off this corner.
Yeah, I think on this one here.
Yes, okay, yep. So those will just get extended and then you better go find those as well. Or maybe,
No, I'm just saying these would get extended out.
those are existing roof drain outlet.
They're going to really come in here. Right into there, yeah, closer to the existing culvert.
That's
Instead
fine,
of-
if you'd rather do that.
Or gonna go off in front of it.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to, this is all gonna get intercepted anyway, so we can just tie
So,
all these
intercept
together
here.
and run it over there, sure.
Yeah, I mean, this is closer to,
It's,
if you look at our wetlands map, it's most everything we have is on the you're driving north on the right-hand side,
Mhm.
as far as some alluvial soils. And I think when this project was proposed to begin with, we all sort of came to consensus, so it was all filled to begin.
Right,
That whole area from the foot of North Elm Street, flat across there, where the snack shack is, that was all filled, as was across the street.
Mhm.
What is now stored all and
Yeah, the groundwater is about, it's down like 18 inches max.
it was all. Oh, no doubt.
That building, it's a lot easier to get the water to go,
No, I don't get it here.
to go that way.
Yeah, to say, yeah, so we'll just have to get it here. Cut it all the way across. Yeah, that'll get Okay,
I mean, the outflow been out. This whole.
of course, we'll tie into this on his property, not on the state property. I'm not going there. When he was talking about changing the driveway to come out on Route 7, that was another thing we looked at. And, the girl that used to be Claire, that used to be at the DOT, she told him he was gonna have to replace this culvert. Yeah. No, never mind.
Stay away from state roads.
Yes.
Well, she's been long gone. I don't even know who the drainage board is now.
I'm sure as time goes on, it gets worse, not better.
Yeah, but they change people so fast. It's everybody, DEP, anything we do with DEP, they're all brand new people. You know, they don't know what they're talking about. They just got out of college.
Yeah.
Frustrating. For you guys, if you didn't hear, we were just talking about taking the other drains and just going right off of this corner out to the culvert.
How wide's your driveway between the building and the
24.
24 foot?
It's minimum for two-way. Even though the roads in the subdivision have to be 26 in North Canyon,
Oh, yeah.
which is gonna be my next recommendation for a text change in the zoning regulation. It's most towns in the state are 24. You know,
So
they
the
don't
park-
require curbs and we require curbs and catch basins and the DOT, the stormwater quality manual recommends no curbs. And what we originally proposed on Bruce is just steep flow down and grass flats. And we had to go back and put in catch basins and like.
Is that what's gonna happen? Because I guess I get distracted from the.
So take away the pink, this is the proposal. There's no pink lines on it.
Right.
That's
I
the
just
whole
wanted to
proposal.
show you.
So there's-
You see the.
That's an
difference.
over,
Those parking spaces are going away.
they're gonna
Yeah.
disappear.
Yeah, there won't
And
be.
there's still, what's there is outside the proposed expansion anyway.
Right now, there's this much pavement. We're gonna have this much pavement.
I get you.
And
I
plus
didn't think there was that much room on that side of the building.
there is, there's a lot. You know,
If you never park there, you don't wanna walk.
There's no kidding, you know, there's four handicaps in the front, and I still can't get to near the front door.
Yeah, now all it is a driveway. There's no parking spaces. in it.
I think the main reason the original building was where it was, because it was outside
mhm,
any of the regulated area.
that could be it.
I think that was the biggest thing that compromises that were came to at that time.
Well, I move the acceptance of this plan so we can discuss it. Without discussion, we really can't get anywhere, so
So
I
motion,
move the application.
motion to accept the plan, and you'll fill out wetlands application.
You've got it all.
Act on it, you have it already,
And the check and everything.
Is there a discussion?
not yet, second,
Second,
on accepting the application,
on accepting.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So now we have a application. So now in new business. We can discuss it further. So this is just your presentation
Mm-hmm.
on other boards that I sit on. When there's a presentation, we tend not to act on them at that meeting
I think lately we've been waiting until the next meeting to approve it. If
because we all need time to absorb, to look at our regulations and compare them to what is proposed.
Mm-hmm.
So. I guess any action on this, we should table until our next meeting on,
January,
nothing.
22nd.
Nothing.
no,
before
December.
December.
Oh, December, right?
No. Something like that.
I don't have to schedule.
All right.
Hang on one second.
Usually we don't. You think we need to wait till next month, huh?
That's up to the board. If you'd
Yeah, the
like
separate-
to act on something tonight, that's up to,
It doesn't seem that complicated that you have to wait a month, but I don't remember waiting a month too often, except when we had a room full of people here.
I think I would. I guess my biggest hangup right now is the entire new structure.
it's
In
in
the
the
regulated
regulator,
area. The whole thing.
It seems to me like having the parking lot and going to that building is not really changing the impact to the wetlands.
So I guess one of the questions I have is the existing space that's there
Mm-hmm.
is too small to do anything.
Yeah.
There would still be a wall between the new construction and that
Yeah,
existing
this
space,
will be a solid wall. This
Okay.
will be a separate business.
the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so that,
so those two are gonna be combined as one.
Yes, yeah, that's where it's Say proposed total retail, so you can see the difference.
Okay, so that-
That's
so
a zoning
that,
thing, but
that existing would go away.
yes, yeah. Yeah, so this would be the back wall of the kitchen. That's there now. And this is that extra little space, so this interior wall will remove and this would all become one space. Which is almost the same size as this, a little bigger.
How many feet into the cell? You're going from, what did you say, George?
We're going from 49.9 to 36. At the closest. So 13, this space is about 9.5 feet plus here.
I mean, that review area is just to see what could impact the wetland. It's not that nobody could do anything in there.
So
It's
could
just
you
we get to
draw-
look at that and
Could you
see.
draw in some sort of. Draw in your gutters going. Toward
Yeah.
the road to that collection area
And your
And draw-
plantings.
and
along
draw
that.
in your water garden, filtration garden, whatever you
Yeah.
like to call it.
Yep.
I think with those
Conditions.
changes, those conditions, would everybody be happier with that?
If he puts in the condition that, you know, he puts in the 25 feet of riparian buffer, which is the plantings. And moving the downspout or the drainage into the catch basin, I think there's less impact. And it's feeding the wetlands better than it was.
But not being a parking lot.
Yeah, not being a parking lot and putting in those plantings.
Yeah, I mean, you still have some spaces that you're adding. Right, there's a few.
Yeah, it's a total of like 4,000 square feet difference.
I mean, I understand you talked about sheet drainage and what the state wants and
Mhm.
contrary to that. I think a curb would keep. Any heat drainage from the parking lot from entering the wetland, which we're charged with protecting. If that would go. Toward this, toward Route 44
You mean
or 7.
run a curb along here?
You get along the driveways,
I mean,
Instead of sheet drainage right into. The setback up on review area. If that would channel the water.
there's not really enough grade to do that to this contour.
It's level.
It's level all the way around.
That's why you're gonna try to put that garden buffer in there.
Right.
That'll take some
Yeah,
of
so
that.
we're looking at.
then you're not concentrating the flow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your water's gotta
Spread it out.
filter through the rest of it.
That medical center, that's what that whole thing does. A lot of that just goes down
And
into
it
the
easily
wetland.
runs off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, like I say, there's not enough.
Proof
You're
the
gonna,
Dunkin' Donuts.
you put a curb in there, you're gonna end up with ice and everything else during the winter time.
Yeah, and there's really no way to get it out of it. You know? That's, the sheet flow is the best way to treat it as well.
Yes,
because
without any
oxygenation.
Pitch to it anywhere, you're not gonna get rid of it, so.
Right.
Sheet pull into it. Repairing
So we'll take this
water garden, whichever.
and follow this dimension line, but that will be the new drainage, and this will be the planting area.
And all in all, it's an improvement over what it is.
I think
If you do all that stuff.
I think I'd be satisfied with that.
Yeah. I haven't noticed, I don't know if you did,
Look,
Chris, if
something else
there's
comes
any
about between now and then, I don't.
faces along there. 'Cause I know there's, back over here, there's a lot.
I think there is.
Not much so either, looks pretty dense.
Yeah.
So we'll put some lower stuff in front of what's there. And that'll provide more buffer.
Is there a motion?
You wanna look at that plan next month
Revised plan,
or do it that way?
Showing
Or
that.
You can condition it and I
You
can
can
show
condition
you
it
the
and-
plan and
put the conditions right on his
So I move to
application.
accept the application with the conditions discussed
approve it.
to approve it.
To approve the application with the conditions for the
For the buffer and for the downspout to be.
repairing
rerouted.
area and the downspouts
To the,
discharging closer to
Culvert.
the culvert. So. Is there a second on that?
I second that.
Any discussion on the motion, second? We went through a lot of discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank
There you
you.
go.
All right, let me just, you want me to write the conditions on here?
Yeah, and George will need to get us a set of plans to
Oh, yeah,
show
yeah.
it. So if there's any question going further and the next meeting you go to, it'll already be on there.
Yeah, because we gotta go to zoning for this anyway. But, yeah, I'll get it to you next week. I can email it to you if you want,
Yeah,
or if Matt's gonna be back, whichever.
I don't know if we
we,
need a big one or not.
we can give you a paper one too, but last time I gave him the paper one, you asked me to email it. so-
No, I sent it to the commission
Yeah,
here, so.
But that way, it's easier to do that, but it's up to you.
I think, well, I think we'll put in the conditions that he'll supply us with a revised map.
Yeah, a revised.
Yeah.
Nah, yeah, that way it's in the file. Yep. And any questions,
And then I'll give you this we gotta fill this out too. All right, because I don't know why they don't give you that page when they give you the
What is it?
application. But this is where we sign off on it, so
Oh, okay,
then you just can fill out some of this stuff on top.
okay,
it's a lot number, the location.
right.
I think they all base off the assessor's lot number.
Yeah, well, we have all that.
I'll say real supply, Whitman.
Check with the,
We have, yeah, he's got to check here. Updated map. Updated plans, right?
to include. And. Filtration
Riparian buffer. But the
buffer.
technical.
That sounds good. I just got to figure out how to
All right.
spell that.
Hi, yeah.
You have the erosion control on the plan?
Erosion control is usually controlled by planning and zoning, but
I'll
we're
say
gonna show it anyway. Yeah.
of minimum 25 feet then.
Well, whatever we can fit in here. You know, we'll leave a little bit of an edge here just for maintenance.
I'll say then approximately 20 feet.
Yeah.
And then,
And with roof drainage discharging to that'll be the culvert. North, south, east, west,
West.
the west.
Because this drains down through here.
As I say, if you come along the building and get to that, where that culvert is,
Mm-hmm.
it's less discharge out into the.
Right.
Wetlands area.
just discharged into.
An
what
existing
the
culvert, right?
Proximity of existing culvert, yes,
existing
But
culvert.
the culverts and DOT, we're gonna stop it on our property.
right, that's it,
Right.
you can't run it into it.
Okay. So there you go. You can sign that. All right, George, you need to just fill in, if you could, just fill in this.
Yep. You should name the sign of this. Is it? Oh, it's DD. GI. Phone number should I move?
So like 41554. Memory, because that was Bessie's number.
Somebody's been the same for how many
It
years?
is.
All right.
Oh, you're right.
What is it, 1554?
824-1554.
Okay, so this is gonna be to be determined.
Or you had cell phone to save that number again.
That's right.
I know. You don't know numbers anymore.
I don't know, I still, just as
So, yeah,
quick to-
yeah,
other than
yeah.
look it up. I understand they have those DoorDash. You can do it.
There you go.
I see
Yeah,
a
that's leaving the
sign
house
on
anymore.
their door. Who does DoorDash around here?
I don't know.
I don't know if they, I don't know how local
I kept
it
this.
is.
Like, wow.
They say you can do it very easy.
Does anybody do
That's what they
DoorDash?
pay for that.
You guys know DoorDash driver, they don't have drivers.
Oh, there's no driver.
There's no driver now.
Yeah.
That's why half the time it get canceled because there's no drivers.
Nobody's gonna pick up.
And they get lost.
Yeah.
On Cana Village.
Oh my God.
One. Yeah, that would be. Through the years, a couple of people have tried it. I forget who. It was like.
So I'll put this all together and I'll email you the
Okay, that
application.
sounds great.
I think you're all set.
Oh, this is
Fine.
yours.
Shouldn't make it any harder to
Yeah,
get.
good to go.
All right, thank you very much.
Alrighty.
Oh, moving right on.
Yeah.
We're gonna review our 2026 meeting dates. There's sent out. I'm not sure if she sent to all y'all, but,
Alright.
so the only conflict we have is in the Wetlands Commission, the fourth Thursday of the month. No, I'm looking at there's, you can correct me. There's no conflict at our meetings. You sent out Labor Days the 7th.
Have a nice Thanksgiving, guys.
Yep,
Take care, guys.
Zoning, Board of Finance. So Thanksgiving and 26th is the fourth Thursday.
Yes, that's the week
So-
before.
You changed that then, right?
Yep,
Okay.
the 19th.
Then Christmas Eve. You changed
Did I not give you that?
To the 17th on that paper.
third Thursday, okay, so you changed that too, okay.
Almost
Double checking.
identical. No, I'm glad you're double checking that.
Do the date.
No, oh, no.
Yeah, I sent that out.
Barry did it, but you sent out. On the 12th, you sent out your thing, so that's what I'm reviewing. 'Cause I got it in other contexts, not through the inland wetlands, I got it through. All right, it is what it is. You can all be here, good. If not,
There you go.
we move on. Oh,
It's a little too far ahead of notice. to
Yeah.
notice
Yeah, right,
a lot of
right,
these
yeah.
up
So-
next year, so.
I'll be on vacation.
Need a motion on that or not?
I'll move to accept the meeting dates as proposed.
Second.
There we go.
All
Any
right.
more discussion? So, motion and second to approve the meeting schedule for the Inland Wetlands Mission, for the rest of 25. Oh, it's all 26, not even 25. We did that last month,
Mhm.
so. All in favor?
I,
Opposed? There we go. You can put those in stone,
Excellent.
so. Report on wetlands education meetings. You know, you went.
Well, yeah, actually, me and Matthew went. And, I will keep it very brief. If there's anything interesting I could tell anybody. Yeah,
Any glaring discrepancies for what we're doing as to what we should be doing?
well, very few, almost no town does not have a land use agent. Someone that kind of puts all that stuff together with the wetlands and any kind of land use in the town. It's not, it's a hired person that would pretty much make sure we stay on track for everything we're supposed to do. Which I think is something we might want to talk to first selectman about.
So we have a zoning enforcement officer. Who sort of acts as a land use
Agent.
agent. Especially since we gave him the authority to, if it's cut and dry outside the inland wetlands area, to sign those, so the person doesn't have to go find one of us. And that was a big discussion, what, 3 months ago.
Yeah. Is that something that we talked about at one of our meetings or
So
anything?
I about George being able to do that, yeah,
Yeah.
we did.
You guys remember that?
I remember talking about.
Vaguely, yeah.
Because Chairman had a problem with George signing someone's name when they said it was okay and it was blatantly outside the inland wetlands area, so. We gave him that authority if he sees that it's either inside the existing four walls or outside the inland wetlands upland review area or wetland area, we gave him the authority to sign that off.
Okay.
Um, So,
As a land use agent, I'm not sure that. Area I think is more specific, has some.
Yeah.
specifically giving him the title as land use agent.
No, I don't know.
think we need to.
Well, it would be someone, and maybe George could do it, but if we have conditions, normally what the towns do is they couldn't start a project unless, they had the silt fences and everything that we stipulated. And then to make sure that's done at the end.
So the silt fences and things are part of their plan, the planning and zoning.
Yeah.
They're all documented on their plan that they present
Yeah.
for that. During construction and how long they have to be there, normally in the planning and zoning, we stipulate that they remain in place until vegetation is grown, or we talked about the filter garden.
It's just, someone, usually before they can start a project, somebody on wetlands would make sure those type of things were followed through on. And maybe watching it during construction too. And then there's also other things, that could come up. I mean, maybe they'd have some education on wetlands. Could guide us in certain ways, and someone to kind of hold the commission together, whether, one of us leaves or not. Like right now, I'm doing the quarterly reports and filing all this stuff, and as a volunteer organization, normally you'd have someone in town that might make sure all that kind of paperwork is done. But that's something we could talk to the selectmen
Yeah,
about.
it sounds like something we should bring up to the selectmen of the town, who are paid representatives.
Oh, not that we have to make any decision on that tonight or anything. So the riparian buffer is the vegetation. And it's different than the upland review. It's basically making sure that, you got trees along streams, that people, they kind of frown upon grass right up to the edge of the river. You really want the water to get filtered before it goes into the waterways. And Connecticut is the only state in the country that doesn't have legislation on that. And going to this meeting, they're looking at what kind of legislation they might want to have. And they have a lot of different voices, and they really haven't made a decision. It's kind of a real gray area because certain things need a large buffer, certain things need a smaller riparian area, depending on what kind of water course or waterway or wetland that you're trying to protect. If you just have a small vernal pool, you don't need a 50-foot riparian buffer. So they're trying to figure that out. One thing they really clarified for me was, you know, any waterway, if, you probably knew this anyway, and, but if it's a river, pond, a lake, that's wetlands. That is wetlands, you know, it's wetlands and waterways. So any kind of body of water would fall under our jurisdiction. Let's see, I should. Oh, one thing very interesting was, after Hurricane Sandy in 2012, we had a speaker that talked about, the climate change. And after Hurricane Sandy, the state of Connecticut thought they had to prepare for, climate change. And, the big thing in Connecticut, you know, we don't have that many floods and fires, although, you know, we kind of had a strange fire season a couple years ago, but is the height of the ocean, rising. And they expect the oceans to rise by about 20 inches by 2050. So, you know, that's a big thing for Canada, I guess, because we've got so much coastline and Long Island Sound. Yeah. I don't want to waste too much time here, so let it go with that.
20 feet,
20 inches,
20 inches, still not gonna meet, reach us.
not gonna reach us.
I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about that is 20 inches doesn't seem like much, but when you have a storm with a 6-foot rise and then it goes to an 8-foot rise, it makes a big difference. So that's why it's kind of scaring them a little bit.
Coastal towns all along the Atlantic seaboard are dealing with that right now.
The Carolinas lost all those houses.
So,
Just the average is a little bit higher. It's very hard to determine the height of the ocean because everything affects the ocean, as you know, gravity and the moon phases and all that stuff. But besides that, you got the wind and all that. But they have all kinds of lasers and satellites that are checking it. Like every couple minutes, they're sending all these numbers out to space and seeing how high the oceans are. So that was pretty interesting. The big thing is the carbon dioxide, the CO2. That's why everybody talks about the greenhouse effect. So CO2 in our atmosphere is only 0.42% of the atmosphere, CO2. And that's doubled in the last 100 years. It used to be 0.28, 0.028. So it's gone like from 1/4% to like 1/2%. But what happens is infrared light does not escape CO2. CO2 just holds the infrared light in the planet. So it's less heat that is able to dissipate out through the CO2. And that's why you just keep hearing about the CO2 and the carbon, trying to reduce the carbon.
it's because we're losing all the rainforests. There's no carbon sequestering anymore because carbon dioxide in the air
Yeah,
is what plants use for photosynthesis.
right.
So if you don't have green foliage, they're not grabbing it back out,
Right,
put it back into actual base material of carbon, which are all made out of.
right.
Who's made out of?
No, I'm sure that has a big part of it. All right.
All right, so we learned about carbon sequestering there, and you learned about reducing the carbon footprint, so not what, and our actual name in this town is Inland Wetlands and Watercourses.
And watercourses,
So
right in the name.
it's right in our actual name, and I think it's in our bylaws.
I know. It just was in my mind, you see the wetlands map and sometimes the watercourses are not in those colors that we normally see, but if there's water, then we have some say over it.
Even rivers and streams, you still got 100 foot. that we're responsible for, is what you're saying,
Right.
even if it's not on that map.
Right, and the state of Connecticut, I think only requires 75 feet. If it's even 75.
So a lot of towns
Might
have
be only
50
be
feet.
50. So I think most of the towns pattern their regulations after the state regulations. And most of what you see in the town of North Canaan regulations are patterned after that. The forefathers decided to expand ours to 100 feet. Town of Salisbury just recently expanded theirs to 75, and they're planning on going to 100 feet. For upland review area, regulated area. So see that?
Right,
We were ahead of the curve.
right. No, 100 feet is good. Most towns have 100 feet. Some do have less. All right, so when you're cleaning a pond, okay? I asked several other agencies and a guy from the DEP. The spoils from the pond. They don't care what they do with them. They don't care if they sell them, truck them out. They don't care. You can't build a pond to sell the silt. But if you're maintaining a pond and you're gonna have silt, then they
can't
don't care
export
what
that.
they do with them. And they were pretty adamant about that. I mean, you read the regulations, you can go either way with that. Let's see. Well, that's about all I can think of.
That was your first of 3 conservation district meetings, or was that the Connecticut Association of Conservation and Human Rights Commissions?
That was a little bit
That
of
was in
both.
Cromwell.
Yeah,
I'm checking things off as we go down our agenda.
yeah, that was a little bit of both.
Okay.
Cynthia Rabinowitz in that number 6 there. She just says that from the Northwest Conservation District, she is there to help towns, basically. And if we had a question on, is this wetlands? What should we do in this particular case? You know, somebody has whatever question it may be. If you're really kind of stumped and you need a little bit of help, that's what they're there for. Some towns, she says, call them several times a year. And some towns like North Canaan says we haven't really called them for anything in many years. So they're there to help, but she's gonna come to a meeting in January and kind of explain what they can do and what the story is with them.
Perfect. 22nd.
Mm-hmm.
Sign offs. Well, you got them here, right?
Yeah.
You want to read those off? or-
Let's see. You can help me with this. You know what that might be. I'll be in
34 Burton Lane, I think, I believe it's 34 Burton Lane is Ed Shannon's shop. There's no wetlands involved there. 187 South Canaan Road would be Mountainside. Not applicable, it looks like there's no wetlands gonna be affected there, so it's a George Martin sign off there.
This looks like a different form. Where the heck do we, oh, right here is where we sign, huh?
It's bottom there.
Oh, he put NA or
NA,
not applicable.
so not applicable. 15 Furnace Hill Road. Drawings, I'd love to. Drawings show existing structures. It's on the back, says what we're doing. Oh, 15 Furnace Hill Road, that's installation of a propane tank.
Okay, here we go.
No wetlands,
You're reading these.
well, it's not on that one. So. This is 92 Laurel Road. Installation of the generator. And it was not in near or within any wetland or upper review area setback.
I think I know that person.
21 Browns Lane. This was for a deck. Outside any of the,
Yeah, it's replacing a deck he had on there.
there you go, replacement. No wetlands area impact there. 117 Main Street. Also signed, not applicable by George Martin, who gave the authority. Handicapped access went up at a rear door. One is Fort Grace Way. For the installation of a sign, I would imagine, freestanding non-illuminated sign. Oops, sorry.
Oh, they put a,
Probably replacing.
they're replacing that
Or
sign.
replacing the sign that's been
100
staying down
years.
like this for 100 years. That's good. 117 East Canyon Road. Not applicable, signed by our zoning enforcement officer. For installation of the swimming pool. Not affecting or within any review area.
Yeah, we got a lot of them. Busy.
34 Old Turnpike Road. Signed off by Matthew Klein. This was for add a cover front porch to a house. Hard pin clay.
Cool.
No wetlands in it.
In-ground pool, another pool, huh?
178 Lower Road. I signed off on that, and that was for installation of the for in-ground pool, not within any review area.
Last but not least.
Last but not least, 52 Canyon Valley Road. And wetlands not applicable. This was for move used shed onto gravel pad. 12 by 22. Okay. There you go.
All right.
And then we have this one here, the for Allied Engineering for the yeah, so there we go. So only one more item on our agenda.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll
Second,
second that.
favor,
Aye.
opposed? I don't have my gavel here on this.